Civility is the attitude. It's a core value. It's a measure of character. It's a way of living and acting and speaking where we continually choose, and we're conscious of it, to behave in a way that shows respect and consideration for other people. And one way we exhibit civility is by following etiquette rules.
Yes, I'm very sensitive about this topic because I just think that seems to be a general lack of manners out in the world these days. Does that seem accurate?
Oh, I would say yes, and partly due to technology. It seems to be a bit of an etiquette-free zone. People are not sure what the rules are, and because everybody seems to be breaking them, we use that as an excuse, maybe to let our personal standards slip a little bit. But the reality is, if we teach children the same as we would encourage our adult friends and family members to always consider the impact of our behavior and actions on someone else first, then it doesn't matter what we're doing, driving, grocery shopping, talking on the phone, eating at the table. If our attitude is always, stop for a minute, think before I act, is this going to harm someone else in some way? What can I do here that is positive and will benefit others as well as myself? If we have that attitude, I think we automatically behave better. First thing is to lead by example and to remember that your attitude absolutely comes through in your behavior, your nonverbal communications, your posture, sometimes even what you don't say sends a very meaningful message to children. And you have to be very careful to practice what you preach, but also to really believe in the standards you're setting for your children. We should treat our children with the same respect and consideration we expect them to exhibit to others. So don't interrupt them when they're talking. Please and thank you. Look them in the eye. Give them our full attention. Make an effort when we're around them to take care of ourselves. Look neat and clean. Teach them respect for property and so on. And then to extend that to our neighbors and our neighborhood and the school. To really help them see that it has immediate impact, but that it starts at home. A lot of parents just give the hand and this kind of physical, abrupt, even rude gesture to the children who are really just being children and trying to engage. And so I think we need to be able to say to the person on the phone, just one moment, please, and then give the child focus and say, I'll be with you in just 1 minute, honey, or Johnny, whatever, and then come back to the person on the phone and say, my apologies, I want to give you my full attention. You have it now, right? And show both parties that we understand each person has value. We don't want to be dismissive. I often refer to a quote, Fred Astaire, some 40 years ago. He said that the hardest job kids face these days is learning good manners without seeing any. And I feel it's as true now as it was then. And one of the things that's sort of a hot button for me is when I hear parents or teachers or adults say, oh, kids these days, as if it were the child's fault, that our social standards have declined. So, and I really believe that it is the adult, the teacher, the parent, the politician, whomever. It's our job as leaders and grown-ups to set the standard and follow our good example. 9 out of 10 parents that we ask, what is the most important thing a parent can teach their child? Inevitably, they say respect. And then when we ask them, so how are you teaching respect? They're hard-pressed to be able to articulate that. And they will, in fact, say, well, she takes soccer, so she's learning respect in sports and so on. Often they say respect is the most important thing, but they won't spend $25 and buy a book that is about respect, or send a child to character building class, or sit with them for half an hour and actually talk about life lessons, and $25 and send them to a manners class. Where we're not committed to it, I believe there's a lot of lip service. We know that it's important, but we don't spend the time, energy, or money fostering it.